So I've gowned according to the procedures we learned in class together, and now I'm at the laminar airflow workbench ready to make the prep. The first thing I need to do is clean my hood. So you remember it's a two-step process. The first step is the oxivir. So again, we've talked about going top to bottom, back to front. So I'm wiping in one direction with the oxivir wipes. I'm going to switch to a new wipe since that was drying out. And then the sides. And then this side. Can't see it. And last, the direct compounding area, or the deck. I gather all my trash at one spot on the side to keep a clean workspace. This has to dwell for 1 minute, then I move on to my sterile alcohol wipes. Remember, everything that comes in the hood has to be wiped down with sterile alcohol wipes. And again, we would repeat this process. In the interest of time, I'm going quite quickly. But you would want to take your time and do this well. Last is the deck. And gathering my trash. Now I have to wipe everything that comes into the hood has to get wiped down with sterile alcohol wipe. So I'm going to do that next with all the supplies that I've gathered together for making my product. That includes the drug vial, the diluent bag, syringe, needles, alcohol swabs, so I have everything gathered together, and now I'm going to prepare to make my dose. Remember, my hands need to be sanitized as well, so I'm going to do a quick sanitize with my hands while I'm letting the alcohol dry on all the things I brought into the hood. First thing I'm going to do is swab the ports of my drug vial in my bag, so those can be drying while I assemble the syringe. Remember, need a separate sterile wipe for each item. And remember, first air is coming this way, so all the while I'm working to not block first air. So off with the dust cap. First alcohol wipe. Now I need a new alcohol wipe for the bag. I've got the port facing the first air. I could also do it this way. The port that we're going to add the drug through is this one. This one has a cap or a cover. That's for the IV line. So while those dry, I'm going to move to assembling my syringe. I chose a 20 ml syringe because I've calculated that my dose is going to be 10 mLs, and I don't want to fill the syringe more than 3/4 full. Again, you see I'm clearing all my trash off to the side so that I have a nice clean workspace. So now I'm ready to prepare my product. So the first thing is to decide if I'm going to add air to the vial, which I am, because I want to keep a neutral pressure in the vial and not have a vacuum. So I'm going to be adding, or withdrawing, I should say, 10 mLs. So I'm going to add 10 mLs of air. So I've drawn that back. Now uncap the needle and face it toward the first air. I'm going to puncture the vial, as we learned in class last week. And then I'm going to tip it over, maintain first air to the critical sites, which are here and here. And I'm going to begin to prepare the dose by injecting a little air and pulling a little solution out. Back and forth like that until I have very close to my dose ready, but I have a lot of bubbles. So the next thing I'm going to do, I like to tip this and get a big amount of air in the top, and then use that air, I roll it around the bottom and gather up all the bubbles, tip it up, clear all the bubbles out, then I clear this big bunch of air at the top, and now I make my accurate measurement of 10 mLs. Because I injected air into this vial, when I'm at 10 mLs, I'm at equal pressure now that I put the air up here. So my syringe isn't being drawn back into the vial, nor is it pushing extra fluid out. So I have my 10 mLs, so I'll go ahead and remove the syringe and needle. Now I need to inject into my bag. Keeping first air, I'm going to just turn the bag like this so first air is on the port. And I'm going to go ahead and inject. Use care when you do this so that you don't go through the side of the bag and poke your hand. And remember first air here and here. Okay, there's my dose. I'm going to set that to the side, and I'm going to recap my needle in this manner. I don't go straight like this because I might poke my hand. I'm going to go at an angle like this until I get the tip in, and then up and at it like that. Now I'm ready to leave the hood and give this product to the pharmacist for a double check. One more thing I need to do, remove the sharp and put that in the sharps container. Then by convention, and what we're going to do in class, is pull back on this empty syringe to the mark that we use to measure the dose, so back to the 10 ml line, so that the pharmacist can see that this is the volume I added. You do that right away after you make it, while you can still remember what it is that you withdrew. So these three things now, the empty syringe drawn back to show the volume I added, the bag with the drug, and the vial I used to prepare it, are all going to come out of the hood and be presented to the pharmacist for the final check.